Welcome to the Thornton Review.
The show designed with you in mind. If it's important to you, it's important to us.
Mike Barrington was born in Kokomo, Indiana. He received his bachelor's degree in biology, master's degree in adult occupational and continuing education, and doctoral studies in instructional design and technology. Mike retired as lieutenant colonel after serving 26 years as a Marine Aviator Electronic Warfare Officer. Mike met his wife Cindy while he was a flight instructor. They've lived in Pensacola since retirement in 1999. Mike enjoyed a second retirement in 2020 after being employed by Salinas Technologies Incorporated, STI, where he was the vice president and senior systems engineer. Mike joined Civitan in 2004 and has received numerous awards for his outstanding dedication over the years. Mike is currently the immediate past president and treasurer. Lisa York was born and raised in Pensacola, Florida. Lisa received her Juris Doctorate degree from Loyola University in New Orleans College of Law. Her career as a lawyer includes family law, criminal law, and medical malpractice. In 2013, she incorporated her own law firm, Lisa York Law, LLC, in Pensacola, which serves family law clients in adoption, paternity, divorce support, guardianship, and name change. She's proud to be a member of Civitan International Organization, which was founded on the goal of community service with an emphasis on helping our intellectually and developmentally disabled family members, neighbors, and friends. Lisa and her husband Johnny have a daughter, Caroline, who lives in Denver, Colorado, and a son, William, who Lisa describes as the greatest man in the world who is high-functioning intellectually disabled. Lisa wants to be involved with an organization like Civitan so she can help families like hers and help citizens like her son. Hi, I'm Pueschel, Schneier, Executive Producer and Manager of the Thornton Review. Thank you for tuning in. Our guests on today's show are Mike Barrington and Lisa York, immediate past president and treasurer and current president of Pensacola Civitan. So it's great to have you both on the show, and it's great to finally meet you both in person. So Mike, will you please introduce yourself?
I'm Mike Barrington. I grew up in Indiana, came down here for flight school in '73. Came back as a flight instructor in 1980. Met my wife, who's a Pensacola native, and then at the end of the career in '99, retired back here. Good place as any. And how I got involved with Civitan, well, my wife's family is career Civitans, her father, brothers, and all that.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And I got involved in a couple of the projects, and she said, you need to be the Civitan, so that's what I am.
Well, we appreciate your community service. I know you've had a wonderful career. I read your biography. You had a great career, and you have continued to serve the community through your kindness and your ability to work with the general public, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
So Lisa, it's great to meet you.
Thank you.
Will you please introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Lisa York. I have Lisa York Law. I was born and raised in Pensacola. Went to school at a couple of different high schools in town, and then went to Pensacola State College, got my AA degree, then went to Florida State University, got my bachelor's degree, and then much later went to Loyola University New Orleans and got my Juris Doctorate. I've been a practicing attorney in town since 2003 and currently am owner and managing attorney of Lisa York Law in downtown Pensacola. And I got into Civitans because I was looking for opportunities for community service. I'm also a member of Downtown Rotary, and their reason for being is polio, which is a wonderful project. They're doing fantastic work on that. I love it. I'm still a member. But then I found Civitans, and their reason for being was community service with a slight bent towards helping our intellectually and developmentally disabled neighbor citizens' family. And I am lucky enough to have an adult son who is high functioning intellectually disabled. and it was a perfect fit to go to Civitan.
Sounds
So I
like
can
it.
help families like mine and help people like my son, and it's been great guns ever since.
Well, it sounds like you've had an amazing career as well and are continuing to help the community every way you can. And it's from the heart, I can tell.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. So we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Mike Barrington and Lisa York of Pensacola Civitan. There is no government-funded program that can guide a man's thoughts. Only God can do that. Company can install any type of fence. When you call and mention the Thornton Review, you'll receive a $100 discount on your fence. They also offer military discounts. Vinyl fence, wood fence, aluminum fence, chain link fence. If it has the word fence, Alpha Fence Company can do it. 850-586-8020. 850-586-8020. Thank you for tuning in. We've got Mike Barrington and Lisa York of Pensacola Civitan. So Mike, like I said, it's great to have you on. I've got a plethora of questions regarding Civitan. So let's start with the history of Civitan. When was it founded? Who was it founded by? Can you just explain the history?
Okay.
I'm sure there's a big
Fairly
history there.
quickly, but it's an old organization. 1917 in Birmingham. Courtney Shropshire, he was a urologist, Dr. Shropshire, and Mr. Hagen, who was a pharmacist. They actually went to a Rotary Club building meeting, and they said, well, maybe we want to tweak this approach. And they said, let's make our own club. So they founded the first Civitan club there in Birmingham, 1917. Then they started to expand and influence other folks. And 1920, they incorporated as Civitan International. And in 1922, it really became international when they established the first club in Geneva, Switzerland.
Neat.
1925, Canada started their first club. And from that, it really took off. Of course, now you look at the intervening years. In fact, the very first club, Civitan Club in Pensacola, was founded in 1922. It lasted about 9 years. So it survived World War I and World War II, Depression, and there were some key elements in its development. They had a ladies' auxiliary. It was for white men only.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Birmingham and all that, and of legal age, and they had a ladies' auxiliary, and they called them Civinettes in 1936. Okay, so in 1943, however, at the convention, they said, hey, this is not going to work. This is open for membership to all adult males of legal age of any race, and that really expanded as Civitan, kind of on the forefront of all that. In 1942, and this is how we came around to our focus on those with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Okay.
Tommy McNulty was born with Down syndrome to the McNulty family, and the physicians at that time said, just put him in an institution, there's nothing we can do about it. And they said, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then they threw their energies into developing support networks, and this is in Baltimore. And then in 1952, Dr. Shropshire hadn't been moved to Baltimore and befriended McNulty's, They said, we got to do something better. So in 1956, Civitan unanimously voted to make helping those with some developmental disabilities as a major cause in Civitan. In the intervening years, I think in 1968, Special Olympics started, and in 1975, I think Civitan International said, hey, this is going to be a major focus for us. It goes right along with the same theme. We're builders of good citizenship, so we do other things in the community, but that is our focus. And so, let me see. 1973, I think it is. They said, "Hey, we might want these ladies to be in Civitan." Was that a good choice?
Right.
We've had more. In 1990, I think we had our first female international president. And we've had a lot of ladies being international presidents sitting. If they weren't there, I don't think we'd be around. So there you go. And we were the first civic club to do that. So we told the others, you need to get on board. Anyhow. So let's see. Our club was established in the old Hotel San Carlos in 1940, March of 1940.
Oh, cool.
And has been continuously active in the community, and it has a great legacy of service in the community. We'll probably talk about that a little later. So here we are up to this time. And
well, thank you for that. That's a good history. So what made you decide to join Civitan?
Sydney.
Well,
Sydney Barrington.
Well, yeah, that's true. There were two projects that I was involved with. There's a National Leadership Forum where we sent high school students to a youth leadership development forum up at Harding University in Searcy, Arkansas. Well, I'm a graduate of Harding. And my wife said, you need to be the chaperone.
Sure.
And turned out to be
if you already know everything about the
coordinator.
place.
And so, okay. And then they were also building wheelchair ramps. Well, I like to make sawdust. So not that good a woodworker, but I try. And so I said, I need to do that. I hammer some nails and cut some boards. And she said, okay, you're getting involved in these projects. You need to become a Civitan. So I did in 2004.
And then through that, you kind of rose to the top to presidential, but you also received many awards for all of your distinguished designations and all of your titles that come along with rising through the ranks.
Yeah, honor
you've done a
keys,
little bit.
and also in the structure we had the club, and then they had districts, and I became a district governor. In fact, I was the last district governor of Alabama West Florida District, which encompassed about Montgomery down to the Gulf Coast and over toward Panama City and over to Mobile. And but as things do change over the years, Civitan International decided we needed to consolidate the districts into a large region, and so we're in now Region 1. There are no longer districts. So I tell them I'm your last past governor.
Is there a certain number of members in each group? Do you try to maintain a certain number? Does it? I'm sure sometimes it's larger, sometimes it's smaller.
There's 60 clubs in our region, and they vary in size from, I saw 10 through, we're pretty big, concerned at 43. We have been much larger too.
Okay.
And but I would say probably the average club size is somewhere 25 to 30.
Okay. And how do you become a member?
Oh, say yes.
Show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed, it's showing that you have to be 18 years old. I think we say of good character. I think we probably waive that, but no, I'm kidding.
Right.
Of good character and
who's in it?
and interested in what we do.
Willing to volunteer and
exactly.
go to the meetings and learn and find out what needs to be done and use your resources and your knowledge and your expertise on actually doing the help. Like you were building wheelchair ramps, and so you knew how to do that.
Well, our three pillars are service, knowledge, and fellowship.
Okay.
And service obviously to the community, and we do a lot, and we'll kind of list those that we have supported over the years through fundraising and activities and all that kind of stuff. And then knowledge, we have guest speakers come
Okay.
at our meetings, and it's like continuing education. It's from a
Right.
broad spectrum of organizations. When you're the president-elect, you're going to be the president. Your job is to get the speakers.
Okay.
And so I'm new, and this is in 2005, and so, oh boy, I said, I'm not an extrovert, I'm not a cold call guy.
You're about to be.
And one of the old members comes up to me and says, we have more blabbermouths in this town than you can shake a stick at.
Yeah. Just pick up the phone call.
And
They
here's
love
some
be
numbers
invited.
to call.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go like Tara Seville? Come on. So I called her up.
It's a name from
Great,
the past.
welcoming. She was
Wasn't she on
super.
the news anchor
Yes.
for Channel 3?
Okay, I think.
Uh-huh.
She was everywhere.
Yeah.
She was
Everybody
the big
from
name.
Pensacola knows the name.
Yeah.
For
Yes,
sure.
and John Appleyard. Sure,
Oh, yeah,
I'll
of
come
course.
down. It's just,
Uh-huh.
so all these people that I said, these people, they're welcoming. They love to talk to us, and then we get all that information and knowledge and ideas for projects as well.
Right.
So, Lisa, I'd like to ask you, what made you decide to join Civitan?
Well, like I said, having my family be the lucky recipient of a high-functioning, intellectually disabled child, I was thrilled when I found out that there was a club in town,
Absolutely, I
a
bet.
community service club that, kind of focused on that. And I didn't hesitate. It's been since 2017, I think, that I became a member. So I am not nearly the expert on our past and all of our wonderful things as Mike is. So that's why you need to ask him those questions. But I mean, it's just been really wonderful for me to know that there are people out there like the Civitans who have picnics every year for our intellectually and developmentally disabled friends, neighbors, citizens, and their caregivers, because us caregivers need some support too.
Absolutely.
So that is something that just made it a no-brainer for me to join, and I'm so glad I did. I mean, you don't have to have a family member or a friend who has an intellectual or developmental disability to be a member at all. We do lots of other things, and we have a lot of fun. But that was just it for me. I mean, that I got to join that club.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mike, can you remind me what you said? What are the three core support issues going on?
Service, knowledge, and fellowship.
I love that. So as far as service, do you have any activities or anything going on now to help the community or anything specific?
We generally have a summer project where we try to focus on an entity in town that needs some help. And then just through the year, things come up. We just did, as a club, a visit to AMI Kids facility. And they have a store, apparently, where the students can earn points to get stuff from the store. And so the store has a wish list. So we're going to be gathering a bunch of stuff on that wish list to put in their store so the kids can earn points and buy those things.
Did they earn points by you giving them little tasks to do? Or
No. They're a completely separate entity. We
Okay.
just went to visit, and we always ask,
Yeah.
what do y'all need? Do you need
Sure.
anything from us? And they said, well, we have this store where the kids can
Okay.
earn points, and so that's one project. This summer, we would really like to strengthen our ties to our Special Olympics here in town. We had Mike Stone come in, who's one of the directors of Special Olympics. He was our speaker about 3 months ago, and we let him know that we really want to, as Civitans, help them out at meets. We want to be there to, do time for running relays or coach the bowling portion of that of their Olympics. So we do things all the time, but as a club, it's been the picnic every year. And we just had it 2 weeks ago.
The 30th annual. picnic.
The 30th
Oh, wow.
annual
Community picnic. It's great. We had about 177 this year.
We did.
Come.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Seville Square. It was great.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
good.
we do, as far as service every year,
Oh wow! I mean, we sponsored the Summer Flight Academy for Chappie James Flight Academy.
right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
In fact, we every Christmas we have a banquet and we have an auction,
Mm-hmm.
and proceeds from that auction is given to a chosen nonprofit. And this year was Special Olympics Florida, and we raised
Okay.
$1,800 for them.
Wow.
just at the
And-
Christmas banquet.
Yeah. That's amazing.
You know, we do a lot of different things. We ring the bell for the Salvation Army at
Okay.
the mall.
The mall and yeah,
And
different stores that have it. How do y'all go about finding out what the community needs? By staying in contact and
a lot of it is through
networking.
Well, that's true, and we have members that are
They-
associated with these organizations,
Okay.
but we also get it through the speakers, and we'll get a speaker from an organization we haven't heard from, but and they might fit right into what we're focused on. Escambia Westgate School, we support them. We do the Mardi Gras parade for them. In fact, I think we started many years ago. A lot of people joined in on that. It's really well attended. But their principal is a member of our Civitan Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're probably always looking for members who are willing to volunteer and willing to give ideas and suggestions and willing to share knowledge on what they already know and just in order to help the community.
And
be an
that's
overall
right. New members
positive
bring in
service.
new ideas.
Yeah.
And that's a
We
wonderful
need
thing.
new members.
Okay. So if someone wants to become a member, what do they do? Who should they contact? Is there a contact phone number or just
We do
they just
have-
show up at a meeting?
We do have a Facebook page. It's
Okay.
Pensacola Civitan Club
Pensacola Civitan Club
on Facebook. Yeah, and people are welcome to just
Message, maybe?
message or comment on a picture, and we're happy to tell them just to come on down to a meeting the first Wednesday or the third Wednesday of every month. Someone will be
What
there with noon. They're
Noon,
noon
okay.
meetings, and we do lunch. We do not do lunch for the second Wednesday or the third Wednesday meetings, but if they want to come to the first Wednesday of the month to our meeting, we feed them lunch. And if you're interested in joining, we've got the application. We'd love to talk to them, find out more about them, welcome them in with open arms. That's been kind of a focus of my presidency, to focus on membership, because we need new members. We used to have several Civitan clubs around this area. There was a West Side, what did you call it? West Side Civitan Club. I don't know if you've ever been to Civitan Park over by the Navy base area.
It's in the Warrington area.
It's in the Warrington area. It's called Civitan Park. There's a big sign. It's a beautiful park right on the water with a kayak, supboard launch. And that was created by the West Side Civitan Club. They
Did
eventually
they dissolve?
They did,
okay.
because of lack of
I-
membership.
I reached out to them a few years ago, probably around 19 or
It's been a
2016-ish,
while. Yeah.
2019-ish maybe. And they told me they were dissolving. I got in touch with somebody, but I didn't know there was another one.
Yeah.
So how long has
Folded
this
people
one
in.
been?
Since 1940, 85 years.
Okay. Well, I don't know how I got in touch with them, but not you. so,
What we're
And
glad
also
you
anybody, and they
Yeah.
should go to civitan.org.
okay.
That's the international website. And actually there is a link, where's a Civitan club near me? And you can link that, and it's
Okay.
got that information
So
as well.
civitan.org, and where is a Civitan club near me? Click on that, and you'll find the one in Pensacola.
Right.
Okay. Well, that solves that. That's amazing. That's good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have people stop by. We had the security guard in the building just kind of ask, and apparently we had built his dad a wheelchair
nice.
ramp, and so he became a member for a while until he couldn't anymore. So it's a lovely meeting space. We tried to make it, 11:30 to 1 so people can get back to work. At least I do.
Sure.
But we have, I think, really fun meetings.
Sure.
We do have the annual yearly Civitan International Convention coming up. It's always in the dead of summer, so it's always hot. But this year it's in Atlanta at the beautiful Crown Plaza Perimeter at Ravinia in Atlanta. Absolutely beautiful hotel, really inexpensive hotel rates, a great convention. It's always a lot of fun. We're trying to encourage more members to just go. Just go. This is one we can just drive to. So we'd love to have some new members come and join, and then come with us.
Right.
See what fun it is to be around lots and lots of people focused on helping their communities.
And does Civitan rely on donations from the general public or dues from the members?
Yeah, we do have dues. It's like $84 a quarter.
A quarter, and that includes $45. That is $15 per meal, every month. You know, so and we have two categories. We have a regular member that can come and attend the meetings. We'll have project members also.
Okay.
That's $30 a quarter, is $10 a month, and you know. There is a project that they're involved. They want to be involved in, but they just can't come to the meetings at noontime, and so they can join that way.
Right.
And
Because it would be hard for some people to attend the meetings, but if they can be involved in a project on the weekends or after hours,
Right.
then you're not going to, say no. You have to come to the meetings. You can't be involved in the project. So you have members who are project members only.
Sure.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who just want to be helpful in the community, and that's a great
Absolutely.
way
That's right.
to be helpful in the
But we're
community.
not going to turn down anybody that just wants to show up.
Right, right.
Projects.
Yeah.
We'd love to have them come and get to know them and have them join the fold.
Absolutely. So can you tell me about the mission statement and creed?
Yes. Okay, our mission statement. The mission of Civitan International is to build good citizenship, providing volunteer organization of clubs dedicated to serving individual and community needs, with an emphasis on helping people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. That's the mission statement. It's a great creed. In fact, there's interesting. Do you want to go through all 12 steps? Yeah.
Tell me your 3 favorite.
Oh, my favorite. My goodness.
Follow the golden rule. That's one of mine.
Okay.
My hands do the work of the world and reach out in service to others. I mean, that's the core. Interesting. Mostly our guest speakers, of course, we say the creed at the beginning, and they go like this. Man, this is great. I'm going to steal this. Well, you're welcome to it. You can also join us, but it is a great one. I search for others to join the fellowship and service of Civitan. We want to recruit. And, yeah, you're right. The golden rule.
It's part of it.
Do unto others.
My motto. And my mouth utters the call to daily duty and speaks prayers in every tongue. They're all it's interesting. The original was adopted in 1920. And it has gone through several iterations. The original one, think of the time period. It was very flowery, or they're talking about Aristotle, and is evolved into, this was adopted in the 1970s, and it's stayed pretty much pretty stable since then. And there's no real reason I see that we ever need to change it or modify it.
Or that we need to quote Aristotle anymore.
Yeah, that's
So I'm going to ask you some more questions regarding, I want to go down some rabbit holes regarding history. I want to talk about your personal experiences. But first we're going to take a commercial break. And I want to remind our viewers that the Thornton Review is a civic engagement show with a purpose to spread awareness by interviewing local elected officials, candidates, and professional leaders. This is information you won't get anywhere else. You can watch the Thornton Review on our various outlets. Our website, thethorntonreview.com. On Vimeo, please follow the Thornton Review. On YouTube, please subscribe to the Thornton Review at the Thornton Review 7810. Please like our Facebook page, The Thornton Review Show. On TV, WBQP channels 12.1 and 12.8, and WBQP on Roku and Fire Stick. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Mike Barrington and Lisa York of Pensacola Civitan. There is no government-funded program that can guide a man's thoughts. Only God can do that. Company can install any type of fence. When you call and mention the Thornton Review, you'll receive a $100 discount on your fence. They also offer military discounts. Vinyl fence, wood fence, aluminum fence, chain link fence. If it has the word fence, Alpha Fence Company can do it. 850-586-8020. 850-586-8020. Thank you for tuning in. We are back with Mike Barrington and Lisa York of Pensacola Civitan. So Lisa, you're from Pensacola. You were born here, correct?
Yep.
Can I ask you about your history of living in Pensacola and growing up here? Because I was born at Baptist Hospital. You were?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's amazing. So I'm very sentimental and nostalgic about Pensacola and Pensacola history and architecture, and I'm really sad to see at least the old hospital going. Yeah. That's just kind of a rabbit hole we're getting down. But
that's actually where my kids were born as well.
Really?
At Baptist, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they were born at the same hospital I was. We, my grandparents moved here from the Sierra Nevada of California. I think they were tired of the snow. And moved here, fell in love with the area. My grandfather was a carpenter by trade, a farmer by trade, and so he bought a huge piece of property in Inslee and built all three of his daughters a house.
Wow.
Himself and my aunt and my other aunt and then my mom. And as children do, they're like, thanks, but
yeah, don't really want to live next door.
Right. So
yeah,
they
nice to visit, but
right. And now I'm feeling that with my own children. And I wish I could build them a house next door, but they would probably have the same, probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a huge piece of farmland in Inslee, which is now all gone. And they eventually sold all those houses. They rented them while my aunts and my mother, we all moved away, and then moved out to Milton and bought. And he built their house out in Milton on Ward Basin and Blackwater Bay area. And so I started out at Tate High School, Inslee, and then finished up at Milton High School. Great friends everywhere, and then just went to PJC.
Yeah,
Pensacola
it was PJC.
Junior, yes, Pensacola Junior College from there, and graduated in my 2 years. And I'm not from a wealthy family. I could not drag on my studentship, otherwise I'd be paying for it. So went on to Florida State and finished in 2 years with my bachelor's degree. And I wanted to be a paralegal. I kind of fell in love with the law and went to what was then called the National Center for Paralegal Training in Atlanta, because back then they didn't have paralegal programs at colleges. That was unheard of. You had to go to a special school. So I did that in Atlanta and then graduated from that program and came down here and was a paralegal at Morehill and Westmoreland, was a paralegal at Beggs and Lane, was a paralegal at Emmanuel Shepherd and Condon, and then told my husband, I don't want to go to my grave without at least taking the LSAT, the law school application test, and just see how I do. So I took it and did pretty well, and then it's like, I don't want to go to my grave without seeing if I could have just gotten accepted to a law school. And then I did. And then I had to say, honey,
we're moving to New Orleans.
Let's talk. So big kudos to my husband. Could not have done it without him. But I got a little bitty apartment in the Riverbend area of New Orleans. I drove there crying every Sunday night to leave my husband and children in elementary school behind, and then I came right back on Friday. Yep. You do that the whole first year. The first year of law school is the same classes pretty much. And then once you get to your second and third year, you can pick and choose. And did I pick and choose so I could leave Pensacola later and come home sooner? Oh, yes, I did. So the last couple years, I was able to be home more. And so graduated from Loyola in 2003, took the bar in September of 2003, and I've been a practicing attorney ever since. Started out in med-mal defense, and then always kind of wanted to try being a prosecutor. So I went to the state attorney's office here in the First Judicial Circuit of Florida, which is Escambia, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton counties, and was a prosecutor at downtown here at the state attorney's office, and did that for 4 years.
Got a ton of experience.
Got a ton of experience in trial practice, sometimes 2 jury trials a day.
Wow.
Got a ton of experience and met all the good people that work downtown at the MC Blanchard Judicial Building. I kind of called them myself the courthouse crowd.
Right.
You get to know the judicial assistants, the clerks of court of the different divisions, and the judges, and it was just a wealth of experience. And eventually just said, I want to try my hand at opening my own law firm and kind of melding all of that information.
Yeah.
It was scary.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'll
Very
bet.
scary.
But at the same time, you knew you could do it
I wish I could say that, Pueschel, but I'm not quite sure I got that. But since then...
And when was that?
That was in 2013.
Okay.
2013. So Lisa York Law has grown from a home-based business to, I have an office downtown, and then after COVID, now I'm kind of back to the home-based business, but I still have the office downtown. I just do enjoy being able to wake up at 10 p.m. with my muse for a legal memo calling me saying, oh, I need to add that, and then I can scamper across the hall in my pajamas and tippy-tap out the rest of the memo rather than going all the way downtown. So
what do you specialize in?
As it evolved, it became more family law, doing name changes. Everybody seems to call me about name changes. I just figured out how it needed to be done. Divorce, adoption. If you are a family member and you need to have custody of niece, nephew, grandchild, I do those. It's called temporary custody by fictive kin in the statute, so we do a lot of those. Paternity actions, whether defense or on the other side. So it's just evolved to more of a family law practice, and I absolutely love helping people, some of them at a really, really tough place in their lives. And I really, really enjoy helping them see the light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have to live like that anymore. It can be tough to go through these kinds of things, but at least the light has switched on and you're on your way.
And knowing that they have help, knowing that you have help with someone who has experience and knows all the steps and can get it done for them.
Right. I hope they feel that way. A lot of them do.
Absolutely.
We've gotten some great reviews.
Great. So it sounds like you're very busy. Sounds like you've had a great career and you're still building, your law firm and you're established. How do you have time for Civitan?
Well, like Mike said, sometimes you're able to come to a project. Sometimes you need to go to all the meetings, and sometimes you don't need to go to all the meetings. With Civitan, you're required as president-elect to get all the speakers. And at the end of your president-elect year, you're going to be president, and you need to show up for all those meetings. Right. So it was a discussion I had with myself before I threw my hat in the ring to be president-elect, essentially vice president, because I knew coming up, I can't just pick and choose what meetings I can come to. So I just made a decision that it just needed to be done. And luckily, Mike and his wife Cindy are incredibly supportive. They're really the backbone of our club. I can't give kudos enough to Mike and Cindy Barrington. Cindy does every newsletter. She does.
Oh, wow.
all
So
of-
you have a family team
We
on your
definitely
side.
do. We're very, very
backing
lucky
you and
with our local Civitan club to have Mike and Cindy Barrington and our other members who have been there for a long time and always step up to be on the board. And like Bill Chavez, who is always our committee chair to do our picnic every year, which is a big deal. And he does that every year and does it very well. So we're really lucky with the members we have, but we need more.
Right.
More members. And that's where you came in. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm happy to have you on because
you.
this is it's an intellectual infrastructural based show where we bring on community leaders like yourselves who have something to share with the community that's really worthwhile that our viewers need to know about because they may have intellectually disabled family members, or they may be in need themselves, or they may just have a little bit of extra time and want to do something great for the community. So
That's right.
this is their invitation to come on, to pick up the phone or just to go down to a meeting.
Yeah.
And
Have some lunch with us.
absolutely see what you're all about.
Yep.
Meet some people. So let me ask you this: why? So what are the main reasons that people join Civitan that you know of?
Well, I think they see the impact we have on the community. We suspended our wheelchair ramp program primarily because we're all getting old. We need younger members
Right.
that can swing a hammer and
Lift and tote and
handle a post hole digger and all, but someone who's willing to help with that. So we just suspended it. We haven't finished, but we have built since 1995 534 wheelchair ramps
It's
in
a
our community.
lot of wheelchair ramps.
534.
Congratulations.
Right.
That's
So-
we won awards for that at
So
the
it-
international
and-
convention.
that's amazing.
And in fact, if you go to a Civitan convention and they say Pensacola Civitan, they think wheelchair ramps is what they think.
Right.
They really do.
Mhm.
But our community picnic is really a big thing that we enjoy doing. But also that Mardi Gras parade at Escambia Westgate we do. Our National Leadership Forum that it had a suspension during COVID, but then it's getting come back and we're looking at the program again. We do scholarships as well. The interesting thing,
Okay.
we did high school scholarships for years. And remember I mentioned Tommy McNulty and the McNulty family and how they developed. They actually developed a program to help teachers learn techniques for special education.
Okay.
And this year I said,
That's a big deal.
all the students we have from high school to apply for the scholarships, they're all real smart kids. They got full rides already. God bless them.
Sure.
I said, let's get back into the theme of let's offer a scholarship. We're actually offering 2 scholarships to students at UWF who are majoring in, they now call it ESE, Exceptional Student Education.
Oh, good idea.
And Dr. Stark there has really helped us a lot. And we got the application out, and so she's put that out to that population. And it will help any as a former student, I understand any money is really good
Oh, yeah,
to
absolutely.
support. And I'm excited that we've made that turn in focus, and so that
That was a great
I think
idea.
It's brilliant because it's just right in your theme.
it does. It does.
Absolutely. So Civitan has an international research center.
Absolutely.
What do
First
they
class,
do?
world
Where is
class.
it? What is it all about?
I wish we had a picture on a poster board. It is
Yeah.
really amazing. Are we the only community service club? We are, according to Mike. We're the only community service club that has a dedicated research center, world class.
Here in Pensacola?
No,
Birmingham,
Oh, in Birmingham.
UAB.
it's a UAB medical school associated with it.
Okay.
Civitan, and we first put in $20 million over several years
Wow.
to establish that. It's got a functional MRI. It's
Oh.
leading edge,
For intellectual
research.
and developmental disability
Okay.
research.
and we've renewed the international organization's commitment for another $4 million, and I think we're way ahead on that program right now. They do amazing research. They have a lot of researchers. Of course, they take our money and they parry it into larger grants. So $1 from us turns out to be about $100 worth of grants. So imagine what that does. They have many researchers, and they do a great work. And of course, they share it with other organizations, other research hospitals.
So it's an educational research also.
Can I tell you a personal story?
Absolutely.
A couple years ago, we had our regional convention. We used to have regional conventions, and at our regional convention, it was at Wind Creek up in Bruton. Did I say it? Bruton? Atmore, one of those.
Yeah.
I get them mixed up. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But one of the speakers was a research scientist from Civitan International who had done a whole study on whether or not intellectually or developmentally disabled citizens, high enough functioning, could get a driver's license. Was it possible? What can we do to test them to see if they are capable of safely having a driver's license? So they developed this whole plan of research, and the research came out that yes, they actually can. They need some specialized driver training.
Sure.
They have this huge simulator that they have the wannabe drivers sit in to focus on their eyes to see what they're watching while they're simulating driving.
And if their attention can stay focused.
Exactly. And if they develop this whole program for driving for people that have high functioning intellectual and developmental disabilities. And my son was at the time wanting to learn to drive, and so that scientist said, here's my card, call us. He can come up there, sit through the simulator, and we'll be able to tell you whether or not we believe he can safely drive or what his driver training needs to focus on.
Sure.
So that was a personal story that was just amazing to me. And from what I remember from her speech or her talk was that the Alabama Highway Patrol and their driver's license administration in Alabama had taken all that research in, and now it's a part of when you want to get a driver's license in Alabama if you have an intellectual or developmental disability. Wish that would come down to Florida. But that is the type of things that they will research. How can we help these people be productive citizens? And sometimes you don't have the public transportation to get you to a job. So what can we do to see whether or not they can safely get a driver's license? That's the kind of research they do that I'm so proud to be a part of.
So so there's so many things that could open up, like job placement. Do you do that, any of that?
We do. My son does have job placement services, but it's not through Civitan or UAB. It's just through other wonderful programs that we have in our society. But yeah, he's a productive citizen. He has a job. He is still working on getting his driver's license, but he's working towards it.
It's giving him something to strive for, and
that is his
something
goal.
very positive, and that's just good for the entire community.
Yes, exactly. He likes to work. He likes to earn a living, and he likes to go spend that money at local businesses.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
The whole circle.
Exactly.
People with energy, and people who are driven and want to work and want to do a good job and want to be ethical and just overall productive, members of society.
Exactly.
I just love it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. And y'all are helping them do that.
We are certainly trying and making it our goal. Yeah.
And so anybody who wants to be a part of your organization can go to your website, PensacolaCivitan.org, or
Facebook.
international.
Well, yeah, Civitan. Is it Civitan.org or CivitanInternational.org?
It's just Civitan.org.
Even easier.
Civitan.org, and click on find a group near me or find a club near me, and Pensacola will come up, and they'll be able to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. Now, I rotate out of my presidency in October, and guess who is our president for next year?
Is his name on the show here?
It is. It certainly is. Charles is such a wonderful member. He stepped up. He is our vice president at his, what do we call it, president-elect this year, and he will be stepping into the presidency role in October.
Yay for Charles.
Yes.
He's just into everything.
Yes, he is. He is a whirlwind and a force to be reckoned with.
He absolutely is. Yeah. So
proud to know him.
Yeah, me too. I'm also involved in other organizations, and he's vice chair, or
Everything.
Yeah, he stays involved. Very productive member of our community.
Absolutely.
I'm very blessed to know him.
Absolutely.
And I learned from him every time I talked to him. And
yeah, we had to give a Charles Thornton shout out. We just
yeah,
had to.
absolutely, yeah.
Well, and he can dance too. I have video evidence.
Oh, he's also a musician.
Really?
Yeah, he used to be in a band like in the 1970s, the Soul Royals.
You have to ask him about that.
Yeah, yeah, you should. He loves to talk about it. He's proud of it. It's
Cool.
something to be proud of. So, so there's value in being a Civitan member. It's productive, being productive in the community, helping others. Is there anything else you'd like to add regarding Civitan?
I don't know. It's just we talk about people joining Civitan. The more people we have, the more we can do. I mean, that's just
Many
math.
hands make light work, and you can get more done.
We have of course, we support a lot of different organizations, but these are those with intellectual and developmental disabilities that are gateway. We had some members that work there.
Yeah.
Autism Pensacola, Miracle League. If you haven't been to a game, you got to go to it. Out 9 Mile Road over in Santa Rosa. And New Horizons in Northwest Florida, and Pyramid, Pensacola.
So you kind of work with other organizations, and it's not just you trying to, lead the whole gamut of helping people, but you actually network and work alongside with other professionals who know how to help.
And they've all been beneficiaries of our Christmas auctions too.
Okay.
I mean, we pay a lot maybe for something that maybe isn't worth a lot, but in that auction,
Right.
but it's because it's for a good cause.
Absolutely.
What he means is every member has to bring a couple of items that you want to auction at the Christmas banquet.
Right. Okay.
And some of us, me and my friend Tina, we try to outdo each other with what we bring. And then our members, it's an auction, and that money that we gain from that auction goes towards the selected group. This past Christmas, it was Special Olympics. Mike Stone and a student athlete were there at the banquet. I think the year before it was AMI Kids.
The year before that was Pyramid.
Pyramid, yes. Their show choir always comes to the picnic and performs.
Oh, that'd be
Great.
great. Yeah.
And then the year before was AMI Kids.
Correct.
Yeah, so they usually send a representative, and then they get a little check. I wish we could afford the big check, but that's just a waste of money. So they get a check, and they come and enjoy the banquet.
Should we mention fruitcake?
Fruitcake.
Everybody
Civitan-
loves fruitcake at Christmas.
That's right.
They
Civitan
do.
sells fruitcake, Claxton fruitcake, and every year we stock local stores.
Do
and,
people actually eat it?
Yes, it's
They
delicious.
do.
I know. I used to eat it when I was a
they do.
kid.
Chill
Yeah.
it, slice it, and get a cup of
Oh
coffee.
man,
You're
it's
good
good.
to go.
I have a recipe for a bread pudding with fruitcake, and it is delicious. But yeah, if you are at Christmas and going shopping and you see a Claxton fruitcake stand, that's us.
Cool. Okay. Good to
We
know.
partner with Claxton, and we sell their fruitcake during the holidays, and it benefits our people.
Been doing that since 1956.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. Longevity tells you something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The fact
that's
that Rotary or Civitan has been around since 1917. That's the year my grandfather was born. Well, 1919. And longevity tells you something.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's all over, it's international. It tells you that there's stability, that there's structure, that they're actually doing a good cause, and it draws people to want to be part of something so positive to the community. So thank y'all. Thank you for
Thank you
coming
so
on the
much
show.
for having us.
And so, do you have any closing statements that you'd like to?
Just thank you to the Thornton Review. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on. It's very nice to meet you.
You as well.
Charles is proud of you. Charles is very proud of you and Civitan in general, and I know he's looking forward to being the president.
Good man.
He's a good man.
So thank you for coming on. So the Thornton Review is on the air to provide public awareness and intellectual infrastructure to our community. This show was made possible by Ida Gates, Godly Teas LLC, Alpha Fence Company, and our guests, Mike Barrington, immediate past president and treasurer, and Lisa York, president of Pensacola Civitan. We want to thank you for watching this episode of the Thornton Review. Bye-bye.